G'day everyone, James here with JWN Lawn Care and Landscaping, bringing you another video. G'day everyone, James here with JWN Lawn Care again, and today you're watching my 2018 lawn care setup video. So, I've got everything here. This is what we're running for the year, so let's take you on a bit of a tour, shall we? Right, so why not start off with the workhorses, I guess, that's throwing all this around. So, what we're running here is a Mazda Tribute, like 2000 and something, I don't know. It's done alright. It's kind of old and getting a bit worn out, but it's done the job. I know it's not a nice pretty truck or, you know, ute as we call them or anything like that, but it gets the job done, right? We are upgrading at some point later this year, so we're going to see what I can sort out for that, but for now this is what I'm working with. That's the car. Trailer. This is a 7x5 mowing trailer. Gyms styles we call them, because a lot of the Gyms mowing guys, as this one is an ex-Gyms mowing trailer. Big franchise here, as I've said before, I think. So basically the way this is laid out, you got two things for fuel containers at the front, which you can see here. I've got one 20-litre can here. The other one's just kind of empty. These are a bit shady, a lot of guys have found, so I've got this cable tie on here, not that it's going to do tons, but it prevents opportunistic people just walking along carrying it away. Fuel at the moment here is, I think it's somewhere around $1.60 per litre at the moment around here, so it ain't cheap. So you know, you got 20 litres there, so that's a fair bit of money. So a lot of people, if you don't secure them, they will just walk along, gone. So that's why we've got a little cable lock on there. I mean, again, it's not going to do much if people have bolt cutters or whatever, but again, it prevents that opportunistic just walking along, pick it up, keep walking. Spare tyre here. Don't use that tons. Jockey wheel, need to replace that because the last owner kind of bunged it up, obviously. Hydraulic brakes on this, so you know, just any system, you guys would know how that works. Yeah, inside here, this is the mower box, so push mowers go in here, and the backpack blower as well. Goes in the front here. This ramp folds down, and so yeah, enables that. So I've got this lock here, locks it up nice and secure. Again, not going to prevent someone with bolt cutters, but it does stop them just gone. I do use these because the you know, it is actually longer than the mower is. I have this hook here, which hooks onto the handlebar here. So you can see where it's scratched it all up. And then another ocker strap on the other side just to, you know, hold it in place, and then the blower sits behind it. It's all good. Last guy did try and put a trimmer here. As you can see, that hook there, but he found it was just too fiddly. And I did have a little hook there for my stick edger as well, but it was just, you know, as he found, it's too fiddly. In here is the toolbox, so side toolbox thing. This is not going to work well. There goes my edger. Okay, but basic gist of this is how I've laid it out. So handheld blower goes there, safety cone, that's my impact driver, two fuel cans over there, 2-stroke in front here, and then just straight unleaded behind there. Then we've got a couple of different oils and so on, chain and bar oil, WD-40, 4-stroke oil, all that sort of stuff, 2-stroke oil. A few new sets of blades for the ride-on, grease gun there. This is where the multi-tool goes, or in this case I'll show you in a moment what else goes there. A couple of spare bits down there, by the way. And then a little first aid kit, not that's going to help much with what it is. A couple of knives, trimmer line I pre-cut and fold like that, so I've just done that a couple of days ago. This is where the FS94 sits, Hedge trimmer there, and yeah, that's how that works. Pretty neat. It is all secure, so it's nice and safe out of the way of the rain and so on. Lockable too. If I can bloody... There we go. Okay. And then in the back, You've just got your usual kit and caboodle, nothing special. So these are barn doors here, open out. I am actually getting a ramp gate, full mesh ramp gate put in soon instead of this, because it's just too fiddly. Do my 2 ramps there, and then a couple of bits of timber if I have to jump curby bits in people's backyards or whatever. A little bit over there for where, if you want to put a couple of rakes in. I've got a trash picker there at the moment. A couple of hooks here for the, oh, that hook's on the ground, but anyway, for the stick edger, see along here, and I'm going to buy a couple more for the multi-tool or one of my other trimmers or whatever to go along the side there. That's how that works. It's old, it needs a new coat of paint, I know. I'm organising that at the moment, but I just don't have time. Let's start with the small gear then, I guess. So this is my sprayer, backpack sprayer. It's like 30 litres or something, 20 litres, I don't know. It works alright, I got it cheap, it's like 30 bucks. And yeah, I haven't really had any problems with it. These bloody things, it does my head in because these keep coming off. They hook down on there, but they just, yeah, I don't know. This is my 4-stroke edger. Got this for my birthday a couple of years back. This is really nice. Lots of torque for overgrown edges. Haven't used it in quite a while because you can only really do these parts. Excuse the lawn, it's horrible. It's so dry at the moment, but it only really does the part along the curb. Can't do along there because it's so uneven on so many lawns, and it just doesn't do well running on grass. And on the side there's a drop off there, so it can't work well either. So I mean, it's a bit difficult, but for when I've had really overgrown edges going out to like here, it does really well in those things. Next thing, Gardenline stick edger or power head with Roby edger attachment. I just don't try this at home, kids, but that's how I did that. Somehow figured out how to get in, so it works. It's really good. I've had this for a little bit. I've put 6.6 hours on this. Not too many, but again, does alright. Gone through a couple of edger blades on that. FS94, nearly 61 hours on that, plus the 20 odd or whatever that I put on it beforehand. That handle's a bit off, but that's okay. Speed feed header, as you know. And now this is the new boy. This is the Stihl FS91R. I just got this yesterday. So today's Saturday, I got this Friday, which was I got this for my birthday too. Ooh, I've done 17,000 steps. But it's on the 12th of October, so a few days after my birthday. I was like, I want to buy myself a birthday present, so I went out and bought this because if you guys saw my last video, which I'll be putting up, I'm a few behind, but I demoed this last weekend. I really loved it. Rob, when I took it back, he said, how'd you like it? I said, when can you get me one in? He said, oh, okay. So yeah, he gave me a good deal on this, and I love it. I've been using it today on a bit of a longer lawn. I haven't been doing it in a while. It did so good. I'm just realizing how fast I'm talking. I'm sorry, guys, but I need to get through this quickly. It does have the Stihl speed feed head on it. I'll talk about this in more detail while I do a kind of first impressions video on it. You can see the size comparison between the biggest speed feed head. This is the speed feed 450. These three here, they're all 450s, and the Stihl one. So it is a bit bigger than them, so it holds a little bit more line, but I've found it a bit of, it's alright, but I've found, I think this one actually throws less stuff at me than the 94, frankly. I took the guard off and stuff because you just can't run any line, honestly. Like with this, run about that long, that's alright. About the same as what I've run the 94 at. That's a reasonable amount of line, maybe a little bit shorter. That does fine. With the guard on, you can only run about half of that. You can only run to about there. It's barely anything, guys, because this head's so wide and the line cutter gets so close to it, so it just wasn't really productive with the guard on. And I like running guard off anyhow, as you can see. But yeah, I've found with these speed feeds heads, the windy things up here, so you can wind them both ways. On here, it's underneath, and I've found these will get worn away, I reckon, pretty quick. Because this one actually, Rob didn't have any of the these heads in stock. He only had the small one, so he took this head off the demo one, which I used, and another guy's used since after me. So it's only been used by 2 other people, and you can see already, like, you know, there's these things, they'll last forever. Anyhow, really good. I love that thing. So brand spanking new, haven't even got an hour meter for it yet. It's coming, it's in the mail. I don't know when it's going to be here, but you know, that's the way of life. Multi-tool next, Gardenline. Again, great workhorse, bit heavy, but does really well. I've been really impressed with it. I've put 18 hours on this now since I put the meter on, so I've probably done like 25-30 with it in total, and yeah, it just hasn't stopped. It's done great. I've got the Hedge trimmer, articulating Hedge trimmer and pole pruner attachment here. It's got like a bloody 6-inch bar or something, I don't know. Can't be 6, no, like 12-inch, I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, great machine. Again, heavy, but gets the job done. Next up, Mitsubishi TL33. This thing's great as well. We use this on our big properties, overgrown stuff where there's lots to, you know, you're trimming for a long time. This is great because it's got those bike handles, lots of power in it, tons of grunt, lots of low end torque, even though it is actually a 2-stroke. Yeah, love that as well. Again, I've got, you know, speed feeds on everything. I'm obsessed with them. Funnily enough, actually, I will mention quickly, I didn't get a speed feed 450. He had them in stock. Rob had them. I said, can you put a speed feed on? He said, actually, I can't really, because he said it. Now he's talking to the Stihl rep recently, and he said he mentioned how everyone, all the contractors are asking for speed feeds because they love them, because they're so good. Everyone here has them, but he said, oh, you can't do that because it voids the warranty. It creates issues because it's not a Stihl head. Because the speed feeds are actually a kind of Shindawa Echo sort of head. It's like aftermarket for Stihl, so they're, yeah, it creates warranty issues. So he said, I can't actually put one on for you just yet. But he said, as soon as the warranty's out, he said, I'll put one straight on. I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, I'm dealing with this at the moment, but that's okay. Next up, Gardenline Hedge trimmer. Jesus Christ, this thing's heavy. I've only put 2.8 hours on this. We don't really do tons of hedge trimming. If I do, it's normally with that, or the rock one there. But it's done good, 4-stroke. So yeah, it's bloody heavy. I can't really do more than like 5 minutes with this without having to rest. It's pretty big and bulky, but it gets the job done. And it's got lots of torque again, because it's 4-stroke. Swivel handle on both of these. Funnily enough, I actually got both of these hedge trimmers at really good deals. The other side's like $149 or something. It's basically a Honda one, rebadged Honda, same design sort of thing. Hondas, I think they retail at $800. Got this for like $149. Oh, stock liquidation thing, clearing out the stock. And that one there I got for $30 or something. Still fires like second pull. This one's a bit less heavy, so I like using that for just light shrub trimming and so on, like diosmas and so on. You want to use a 2-stroke because the 4-stroke, so just, you know, this has higher tip speed. Yeah, that's my hedge trimmers. I'm thinking about getting a HS46 still, but I'll have to see. I've just bought that, so I'll pay that off first, and then, you know. Next, BR700. What a beast. This thing never stops. I've put 11.9 hours on it now. One thing I do find, I don't know if anyone else finds this, but sometimes these little rubber bits for anti-vibration, they'll like shake off and it'll be like to the side. And see, there's this little bit that sticks up under it, and it'll, like, I feel it in my back when it's on. I feel it kind of rattling, and it just doesn't, you know that feeling? It just doesn't feel right. So I take it off and put it back on, it's fine. But yeah, oh, beast of a blower. This is, it's just improved our blow and off time so much. We're just cleaning up properties. Done. Yeah, I love it. Little Garden's Choice shredder vac. That thing takes like bloody 10 minutes to actually warm up. It starts fine. It starts like 2 pulls, but then the warm up time for it is ugh. But it's got a metal shredder blade on it, so it's great for sucking up leaves, twigs, sticks and so on. That's what I love it for. I've got a Stihl vac kit I got free with this BG56. I only used once because it doesn't have the shredder blade on it. It sucks, honestly. This one's way better. So yeah, it's a good machine. BG56. Pretty good. Hardly touch it these days because, you know, the BR700 just does everything. How many hours is that? Like 8.6 or something? It's hardly done any work. Yeah, but it is nice for smaller stuff. What's next? Chainsaw. Just MS171 Stihl. It's a great little machine. Ooh, why wasn't that on? That should be. I think it's got like a 16-inch bar. Really nice saw, really well balanced, nice and light. Bit of a pain to start, takes a bit to warm up because there's no primer on it and so on, but gets the job done. And that's all I really care about. I've done a lot of tree trim with this thing, and it just powers through anything, you know, straight through. So I love it. It's great. HRU216, the good old Honda. Harry the Honda. I love this thing. I've just used it actually to mow the front of our place. So there's lots of leaves and stuff, so I mulched them up. Does great. You know, mulches pretty well, catches pretty well. Did a big lawn with it, long lawn with it today. It did fine. It is slow. It's one of the gripes I've always had with it, but you know, a little bit underpowered maybe compared to the HRX217 I used to have. And it's definitely like a million times slower, but gets the job done, and it's commercially built. So this thing has withstood a lot. The 217 with its plastic deck probably wouldn't have. One thing that's different in Australia, I don't think the American models have it, is this chute here. So it's angled. So if I take the bag off, this, instead of closing flat like the old models and the American ones, it actually folds down like that. I don't know, maybe some of them do have it, but creates like a back chute so it can shoot down and out. It's not very effective. Often we hold it up a bit like that so it disperses a bit better, but then it gets stuff all over the side here, you can see. But it's good for long lawns. Catcher bag, 70 litres. I think it's a little bit smaller than the HRX217's catcher, but yeah, I honestly, I've used the catcher for the first time today in like a few months. I hardly use it at all. I just mulch everything. I put this hour meter on pretty much as soon as I got it. 46.8 hours. So nearly at its 50-hour oil change. It's not bad. I'll do a review, I guess, at 50 hours as well. So yeah, it really doesn't get much work these days. I might use it a couple of times a month. There's really only like 2 lawns I can think of that I actually use the 216 on. It's all ride-on stuff now. And this here is the piece of crap that started this entire thing. Good old Rockwell bloody X3750, whatever it is, I don't know. I have given this thing the beating of a bloody lifetime, and it still doesn't stop. It's old, fairly. It's a few years old. It's been beaten up. It's like a cheap commercial residential machine, guys. And this started it all. I went through everything and anything with this. And it still runs today. I mean, if I pulled it, I don't really want to, but if I pulled it out and gave it a couple of rips, it would fire right up. We used it the other day on a body corporate job that's all push mowing, and you know, it did fine there. It is, you know, it's a cheap machine, right? But it does okay for what it is. It's basically just a backup now, because there's not really room for both of these push mowers in the mower box there. So it's kind of, I just keep the 216 in there and the BR700. But I tried it. I can, if I fold up the handles and do all sorts of different, I can get both in there just, but yeah, I don't really want to try. Because I don't have the need. Sometimes, like at that body corporate job, which we basically rarely ever actually have to do because the grass grows so slowly, you know, we put this in the boot of the car. It's fine. Next, the big boy. This is the Victa ZTX 2342, 42-inch deck, 23 horse Briggs engine. This is 15.1 now. It was at 7.9. This is the hour meter from the old EB430 blower, which is cocked, as you'd know, which I've still got to send back. Haven't got around to that yet. Yeah, 15.1. So basically, because the guy who sold it to me accidentally left the key on, the ignition powered hour meter there, it ran the battery flat over like 2 days, and it racked it from like 28 hours to 69.5. So what I'm doing is basically just building up the difference on this hour meter, so I know when it's actually reached 69.5, and I'll take that hour meter off and I'll do something with it, and then I'll reconnect it's just a little cable under here, I'll reconnect this one and we'll be good. This has been a good workhorse. This is what does the large majority of our work these days. You know, I've done a few things to it. I've taken the front mulch plate off, so I think I showed you in that last video, because it was just, I was having so many problems with it, and I've taken those covers off so we can clean out there. I've taken off the flap, because, you know, it's got a mulch plate on. We basically never side discharge anyhow, and if we do, we'd want, you know, the grass is probably so long that we'd want the flap up anyhow. So yeah, this thing's done great. I've been really impressed with it. Aside from those few issues with the mulch plate, it's done great. There hasn't really been any problems with it. I did have the safety switchy thing from this control lever you can see under there came loose last week when I had like 16 lawns to do, and I think I showed you that video, yeah, because that was when I was demoing the 91. I don't know if I showed you that part though, but I was having a like absolute fit because it wasn't turning on. I was turning the key, I'm like, well, it's turn on, and then I pushed the levers out, and you know, I had checked under there, I'm like, oh, it's loose. So yeah, once I did that, it was fine. But yeah, so this has been a great machine. Just busted off. That's the problem with this nut being down here for this bit. It just, you know, you hit something, and so that just happened before, or whatever. You know, I've still got this nut on the top. I mean, it's not really going anywhere, so I might just take that part off, because that's no good to me now. And I've just got one bolt I undo instead too, which will be nice. But yeah, so this right here is pretty much what I'm running with. Now, this is what we got. So, I mean, for a kid, I don't think it's too bad, is it? Obviously, you know, I can have 5 more mowers and, you know, 3 extra whippersnippers, a couple more backpack blowers, but I really don't need it for the amount of work we do. I do try and get tools, you know, based on what we do. So, if we don't do much chainsaw work, just get a little chainsaw. You know, we do some big properties, so big leaf blower, that's nice. Lots of overgrown stuff, so I bought the FS91 because it's got lots of high-end torque. Regular lawns, FS94 is really nice for that. Stick edging, don't do tons, so cheap one, that'll do. You know, lots of, if you do acreage mowing or whatever, Mitsubishi bike handle brush cutter, great for that. So everything here, I justify purchases by like, what's it actually going to do? Is it actually valuable for the business? You know, it's like the American, I think, was it the American or the Australian? I think it might be the Australian America's Cup winners when they won back in whenever it was. No, the first country to ever like win the America's Cup, because Americans, they'd always won their own race, and you know, Australia was the first one to win it ever. And I think it was the captain of that boat. He wrote a book called "Will It Make the Boat Go Faster?" and it's a really interesting read, because basically their contention was, everyone comes to them with, oh, you know, this nice design on here, or this nice ornamental whatever it is on the front or whatever, and his question would always be, but will it make the boat go faster? It doesn't matter whether it's nice and pretty, or, you know, good looking, or sponsorship or advertising or whatever. If it doesn't make the boat go faster, it's not helping us. Because what we need is the boat that's going to go the fastest and win the race. So that's kind of the mentality I've got with all this gear here is, you know, not necessarily will it make the boat go faster, but will it, you know, do the job well and efficiently. Is it suited for the job? And everything here, I reckon, is suited for what it's, you know, what it's intended for. I've bought all these bits of equipment because I've seen a need for it, and I've said, actually, this will make the boat go faster. So that's how I justify my purchases. My mum was a bit skeptical because my dad's away at the moment. She took me to buy that FS91 yesterday. She's going, oh, do you really need it? And I said, well, it's October now, and this is when all the council nurses get sent out for overgrown properties. This is when we're going to get the calls for them. So that's where that thing's really going to shine. And you know, I did a long run today, as I said before, and it did shine. It really did. it was blitzing through stuff that, you know, the FS94 would die looking at. So, yeah, that's why I've got all this gear, is, you know, because it serves a specific purpose. You know, you get the right tool for the right job. You don't just buy willy-nilly. I say, right, I've got lots of big properties and, you know, lots of places I need to get into tight corners and so on. Right, I'll buy a zero-turn mower. You know, we don't do tons of push mowing, but I need one that's well built. Fine, get the Honda 216 and so on. You know, that's the way we work. So it's a good way actually of operating a business, because it saves that unnecessary spending. Like it's so much fun, you know, buying equipment. It makes you feel great, and yes, it's another tool, but if it doesn't make the boat go faster, why are you buying it? So yeah, that's my setup. I'm going to quit rambling because we've got a deck to build out back. My uncle's here. My mum's had a bit of an incident, and we're not entirely sure what happened, but she decided to face plant on the driveway, so I'm waiting to hear back from my aunt, who's taken her to hospital. Every time something goes seriously wrong, it's when my dad's not here to help. It's really annoying, but what can you do? Anyhow, that's my 2018 lawn care setup. This is basically what I'm going to be rolling with this summer, and probably for the next year or two. Maybe some small bits and pieces might be added throughout it, but this is what we're going to have. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. You know, what's your setup like as a kid? I'm interested to see some other teen setups. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.